The star of today's show is Batman. So we're going to start with his feet and legs first. So with our black yarn and 4mm hook, we're going to slip knot onto our hook and we're going to chain 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And in the second chain from hook, we're going to do 1 single crochet. And in the next 3 chains, we're going to do a single crochet. So that's 1, 2 and 3. And in the last chain, we're going to do 3 single crochets. And these will allow us to turn our work around. So that's 1, 2 and 3. Now we're going to be working down the opposite side of our foundation chain. And I'm going to do 3 single crochets. And these are in the back of the 3 single crochets we did previously. So that's 1, 2 and 3. And in the last stitch, we're going to do 2 single crochets. So the first stitch of this entire round, we're going to do another 2 single crochets into it. So we now have 12 stitches and we want to increase to 18. So in the first stitch of the next round, we're going to do 2 single crochets. So that's 1 and 2. And then we're going to do a single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2 and 3. Now in the next 3 stitches we're going to do 2 single crochets into each stitch. So 2 single crochets into the first stitch, 2 single crochets into the second stitch, and 2 single crochets into the third stitch. And now we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2 and 3. And in the last 2 stitches of this round, we're going to do 2 single crochets into each. So that's 2 single crochets into the first and 2 single crochets into the last. So we now have 18 stitches all together working around. And for our next round, which is round 3, we're going to single crochet all the way around but in the back loop only. So 18 single crochets in the back loop only of each stitch. So I've finished all my 18 single crochets into the back and it's time to do our first decrease round. So I'm going to single crochet 5 stitches as normal. That's 1 and 2, 3, 4, 4 again and 5, and I'm going to single crochet the next 2 stitches together 4 times. So that's single crochet 2 stitches together once. Now I'm going to single crochet the next 2 stitches together. So that's twice. And the next 2 stitches together. Which is 3 times. And 1 more single crochet the next 2 stitches together, and that'll be 4 times. And we're decreasing all at one end to make his toe. And to finish this round, we're going to do 5 single crochets as normal. So that's 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we now have 14 stitches, and we're going to do another decrease round to take it to 12 stitches. So again, I'm going to single crochet 5. So that's 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then I'm going to single crochet the next 2 stitches together, and I'm going to do that twice. So I've single crochet 2 together once and single crochet 2 together twice. And to finish this round, I'm going to do another 5 single crochets. That's 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5. So Batman's foot is now done, and where we've decreased was come in a little bit to make his toe shape. Now we're going to single crochet around for 10 rows for his leg. So single crochet 12 stitches 10 times, and I'll meet you back here when that's done. I'm just finishing the last couple of single crochets on my 10th round, and you'll notice that my beginning of each round has moved. It's moved to the right slightly, and I want to do an extra couple of single crochets to move the starting point to the back again, because we're going to be doing a colour change next, and I want the colour change to be at the back of our work. So if you find that your seam has moved, always do an extra couple of stitches to move it to the back, and then I can fasten off. And now we can introduce our next colour. So we just did a slip stitch to fasten off the black, and I'm going to do a stand and start to introduce the new colour, which is grey. So slip knot onto hook, and I'm going to insert my hook into the stitch where I want the colour change to be. Yarn over, pull through, so I've got 2 loops on my hook including the slip knot, yarn over and pull through as though it was a single crochet. Now I'm going to do 7 rows of single crochet around, and you'll notice that I'm also crocheting in the ends as I go so that I don't have to weave them in later. So we're going to do 12 stitches around 7 times, and I'll meet you back when I finish that. So I am just finishing off my 7th row or round of grey, and my starting point has moved again. So I'm just going to do an extra couple of single crochets to move that starting point to the back, because we're going to do another colour change, and we're going to change from grey back to black. So when I get to the back of my work, I'm going to do at some point a slip stitch to fasten off, and then I can cut my yarn, and I'm going to do the stand and start method with the black again to attach it to our leg. Now we're going to complete 2 rows in black. So single crochet around twice. So I'm at the end of my 2nd round of black, and I'm going to fasten off. And now I can cut my yarn and begin to stuff my leg with my polyfill. So I'm going to push all them ends in, and bit by bit I'm just going to stuff the leg with the stuffing, and I'm going to use my good old fabric pencil to make sure I get it right into them toes. And there's our first leg complete. So now you have to go away and do this all again to make the 2nd leg, but do not fasten off on the 2nd leg. We now have our 2 legs. This is the first leg that we made, and here is the 2nd. So I'm going to put my hook back into my loop, and now we're going to join the 2 legs together. So if we look at our leg face on, I'm going to call this side the right side and this side the left side. And what we want to do is single crochet all the way around to the middle stitch of the left side of our leg. And once we get to where we feel is the middle stitch, we're going to loosely chain 1. And now we're going to pick up our 2nd leg, or our first leg that we made, and we're going to find the middle stitch on the right side of that leg. And we're going to insert our hook into that stitch, yarn over and pull through, and complete a single crochet. So we have now joined the 2 legs together. I'm now going to continue to single crochet around all remaining 11 stitches of the 2nd leg. So once we have complete our 11 single crochets, we now want to do a single crochet into one half of the chain 1 stitch that we made. So insert your hook into the middle of that chain 1 stitch and do a single crochet. And we're now going to single crochet around the remaining 11 stitches of the first leg. So we're not including the stitch that we chained 1 from or the stitch that we single crocheted into to join the legs. And once we've finished our 11 single crochets around this leg, we're going to do a single crochet into the opposite side of the chain 1 space. And our two legs are completely joined with one round complete. So we now have 24 stitches because we have 11 stitches on each leg, which is 22. And then we have a chain 1 which we single crocheted into either side, which makes 24. So we're now going to do 4 rows of single crochet around, so 24 stitches 4 times. I'm just finishing my 4th row or 4th round of single crochet, and for our next round we want to do a decrease. We want to decrease from 24 stitches to 20, and to do that we're going to single crochet 4 and then single crochet 2 together, and we're going to do that 4 times, and that will give us a total of 20 stitches. So single crochet 4, that's 1, 2, 3 and 4, and now I'm going to single crochet 2 together. For 5, and then single crochet 6, 7, 8, 9 and decrease for 10. Single crochet 11, 12, 13, 14 and decrease for 15. Single crochet 16, 17, 18, 19 and decrease for 20. We finished our round, we're now at the front of our work, and the next thing we're going to do is a colour change, and I want that to be at the back of the work. So I'm going to do a couple of extra stitches just to move our yarn round to the back where I can do a colour change back to grey. It's now time for another colour change, so I'm going to fasten off my black yarn and I'm going to reintroduce the grey yarn, and I'm going to do the stand and start method again. So slip knot onto hook and insert hook into stitch. And now we're going to do 2 rows or 2 rounds of single crochet around, so we have 20 stitches and we're going to single crochet around them twice.